Hey guys, it's Justin here with CNS Construction. Just wanted to go over a little bit here with you about you need to watch yourself with other contractors. So with that being said, several years ago I was using a contractor and he was supposed to be a good Christian man. Ended up not being that good of a Christian man, but he was a painter, still doing painting today, still in business. Honestly, I don't know how this guy can stay in business. I don't want to give you the name of the business just because it's probably for the best. I don't need to be anything, but I built a garage for this customer. It was a 30 by 60, 3 garage doors, and an entry door. By the time it was all done, beautiful building was done, had everything done, even painting and mudding. This guy was claiming he was also a mudder. I hung all the drywall, and some of my mud joints were a little bit wider, but if you are any kind of a mud guy on drywall, if it's more than a half an inch wide, you should still be able to get it. And I've seen a lot worse than a half inch wide, and mud guys, they still got it, and the joints did not crack. So this guy was complaining about all the joints that we did on the drywall, and he took a sander, like an orbital sander, went in there, and after he mudded everything and put the tape in, used mesh tape. I made sure he had mesh tape. I got him exactly what he wanted, and I got exactly what I would have liked if I was doing the drywall mudding. But all said and done, he put the first coat of mud in there, got the tape on it, put the next coat of mud over the tape, comes in and starts sanding it with an orbital sander. An orbital sander, not any kind of a drywall sander or anything. So now you got all this dust in the air. I got a brand new air conditioning or heating unit in this garage because the guy wanted to put his cars in there for the winter time and melt the snow off. I put drains in the cement in the floor so that it would drain out and everything like that. So he's got all this dust flying around inside there. I mean, it was dust everywhere. So as he's sanding, I'm noticing that there are spots where he has gotten down into the mesh tape and just tore up the mesh tape. Now that mesh tape is not going to hold anything anymore because you've destroyed it now. You've tore into it. You've broke the mesh apart, and now you're losing your structural strength on that mesh tape. So we confronted him about it, and he says that, comes back at us, that it's our fault that that these are like this because we didn't get our joints tight, and a lot of them were tight, but he's coming back that it's our fault and that none of it is his fault. So then he goes to paint the place with it still like that, and he's complaining about the paint that we got. Yeah, it was a cheap paint from Menards, and it was kind of watered down paint. If I was really painting anything, I wouldn't have got this paint, but the owner was kind of wanting to just put some cheap paint in there, and so that's what Dad and I got for him. Didn't know anything about the paint. We knew it was a fairly cheap paint, but you get what you pay for. So this guy is just complaining and complaining and complaining. Did a really lousy job with it. Okay, it may have been watered down type paint, but he had runs all over the place. It was done very sloppy, and this is supposed to be a guy that was professional. Claimed that he did all the painting for all our local Bob Evans at one time. Well, now I can see why he's not doing Bob Evans anymore, because he's a sloppy painter. Had paint all over everything in there. All my tools that I had in there for the time that I was working and still doing stuff while he was in there on the outside, covered in paint. Just absolutely horrible. Like literally I had to take acetone or mineral spirits and wipe all my tools off. My nail guns and everything, I had to wipe them off with acetone or mineral spirits. So this guy gets so huffy with us. He's screaming and shouting and threatening us. And it came down. I didn't want to take him to court. I just wanted him gone. And I ate the cost of it, but I had to hire another guy to come in, and this guy had to go in and dig out all the mud in the joints all over the place, remud it, retape everything, and then repaint everything. Which by the time that was done, it was done right. I watched the guy do it. I saw him do what he was claiming he was doing, and he did it right. So this is the thing, guys. If you are a general contractor, you are liable for who you get to work on your stuff. The homeowner or commercial guy, whoever, if it's a business owner or whatever, they will come after you as the general contractor. It's not the homeowner or the business owner is going to go after the guy you hired. They're going to go after you, your company. So in this case, this guy would have come after me, C&S Construction. So to do this right, I, as the general contractor, had to eat the cost. I had to pay this guy for what he had done, but I didn't pay him all. So because I deducted some of it from what he was finally owed because of the bad workmanship that he did. So he didn't get everything, but he got the majority of what he was owed. So here I am. I'm stuck with paying this guy, and also I've got to pay out more because now I've got to go in and I've got to fix it. So I've got the cost of this guy's work for the mudding, which he had been paid for fully in the mud, and he'd been paid pretty much in full for all the painting, you know, minus a few $100s or something like that. So as a general contractor, I had to take and I had to cover the cost of hiring another guy, which came out of my profit in the end. I had to hire this other guy. He gave me a bid, he gave me a quote to fix all this stuff. So I had to pay that, whether it was $1,500 or $5,000. I had to suffer that cost to make sure the job got done right. I could not go back on the business owner. I could not go back on the homeowner. All I could do is take it out of my pocket, out of my pay on the end, and pay more out. So if something happens as a general contractor for any of you guys, you are liable for that. It's not going to go to court and, well, this guy screwed me, you should really go after him. No, you're the general on the job. You will be taken to court. I had another job here recently where I've been doing work for this other contractor for several years now, at least 5. The guy knew me, knew how I do things, worked alongside me, knew pretty much everything about how I do my business and everything. And this other homeowner was basically being the general contractor, not the guy that hired me was being the general contractor. So this contractor that hired me was not acting like a general contractor, but the homeowner was acting like a general contractor. So here I got screwed out of about $6,000 to $7,000 in change orders that should have been paid, but I didn't collect it just because of the fact that things got really ugly. And I don't want to go into too much detail about it, but it got really ugly. I wanted to keep it out of court, so I didn't have to pay any court fees or anything like that. So to cover all that and to keep it out of court, I suffered the cost, and I did not take and charge anything for those change orders, which I could have. So I just wanted to put that out there for any of you out there that are watching this. As a general contractor, you are liable for anybody you hire. If something is going on one of your jobs, if you go out to the job and you're checking on your guys that you're hiring as subcontractors, if there's something you do not like about what they are doing, speak up. Tell them about it. Ask them questions. Take and pick their brains a bit. If you don't like the answers you're getting, get them out of there. Find somebody else and get them in. So you do not end up getting into a court battle or legal fees or anything like that. You're better off to just get them out and cut ties, or move them to another project where you know they're going to do good and better on. However you want to do it. But just know that you are liable. So this is the end of my rant, guys. Sorry about ranting and raving, but click subscribe and let's keep the videos coming. All right, thanks, guys.